of Jesus to understand what their prophecy chart looked like, because Jesus has to shake it up, tear it up, and give them a whole new one here. Why? Because they believe, just like Jewish people believe today, they believe the Hebrew prophets. The Hebrew prophets say when the Messiah comes, guess what? They're going to beat their swords into plowshares, and men will learn war no more. There's going to be a resurrection of the dead. The earth, nature, will be at peace with itself. The wolf shall lie with the lamb, and the lion shall eat straw like an ox. Even nature is going to change. And when you read the prophets, you think it's all going to happen when this Messiah reveals himself. And his disciples had that, they shared that same thinking. In the Middle Ages, when some of like the King of Spain, Ferdinand, Isabella, I think it was them, they'd hold these disputations with the big Jewish sage, Maimonides or whoever. And they would force these learned Jewish sages to a public dispute on the credentials, the messianic credentials of Jesus. And the biggest argument that the Jews had against Jesus being the Messiah is that wars did not stop. Nature had not changed. There had been no resurrection. The lions are still lions, and the wolves are still wolves. Amen? Jesus, in his starting to correct their prophetic views and say, look, there's an exile coming. It's not now. Your priority is to preach the kingdom, but Israel's going into exile, a long exile. Jerusalem will be trodden down, and the Gentiles till when? Till this whole Gentile age is finished. And, that's a big shift. He's got to tell them there's a first coming to come and die and a second coming to come and rule. He's got to completely change even the mindset of his own followers. So the first thing he says in the next verse, the next slide, and Jesus answered and said to him, take heed that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and will deceive many. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet, for nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilence, earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. Then many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations. Then the end will come. And what he's saying is this: I am the Messiah. Do not look for another. And even if wars continue, I'm still him. You've found me. I'm still the Messiah. Even if pestilence, famine, earthquakes, the earth's not at rest, don't be worried about it. Don't listen to another, a false Messiah. I'm the one. You have found me. Do we understand this? Because I've gone my whole life and people saying, well, wars and rumors of wars, here's another war. Oh, it's end time. This is a sign of the end time. Jesus preempted the whole argument by saying, I'm the Messiah. Wars are going to continue. It is the same old earth continuing. And your priority is preach the gospel to all nations. That's what he's saying there. So when we look at the prophetic teaching of Jesus to his disciples on the Mount of Olives, number one, he establishes his messianic credentials and saying, I know what the prophets say. but don't worry about it. You know, the understanding, and we understand now about the first coming and the second coming and the exile. We can look back on it, and yet we're still getting it wrong.